Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dear students. Today we will continue to study, to revise Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So just for your memorization, we will again have a look at Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. What was the basic concept? What was the basic idea behind Faraday's law? There are mainly two experiments in order to understand, in order to perform, verify the prediction of induced electric field. What is the purpose of the magnetic field here? If you make its position final in stationary position, keep the position of the magnetic field stationary at one position, it will not move any, it will not produce any effect on this coil. It will only produce the current if there is a relative motion between magnetic field and loop. Either you are changing the, moving the loop with this ammeter away from this magnet or close to the magnet, or bring this magnet close to this loop. So this will be the one factor. Another factor will be how quickly you bring this magnet close to this loop. So this is the another thing. Now, new thing is, hello Qutbuddin, do you have any question?
Yes sir. सर आपकी आवाज कट करके आ रही है, आवाज बिल्कुल समझ में नहीं आ रही.
अच्छा, okay, I will try to improve my audio. Thank you.
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल.
Okay, sorry. Hello?
Yes, sir.
हाँ जी, आवाज क्लियर है मेरी?
Yes, sir.
Okay, mute yourself. Yes, CR, Saad, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. If there is any issue regarding voice, so please let me know. I will keep you unmute during this class now, okay? So, okay, sorry for interruption. So this was the basic experiment regarding the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. And then there is another experiment. If you move, you can move, use instead of magnet, bar magnet, permanent magnet, you can use another coil carrying battery with some switch. So when you close the switch, when you open this or open the switch, so then there will be a relative change, increase in the current. So increasing current or decreasing current will reduce the magnetic field in the first coil or right side coil. That will also cause the production of the current in the secondary coil on the, which is on the left, and will show shown by the deflection of the ammeter. So during quantitative measurement, we have seen that there is a magnetic flux. Definition of magnetic flux is that B dot dA, how an area, in which area how much magnetic field or magnetic lines of forces are passing through, that will provide us the definition or provide us the magnitude of the magnetic flux. So by putting it into this equation, we now come to know that induced electric field is equal to the rate in change in the magnetic field. It doesn't matter here, according to figure, not only the magnitude of the magnetic field is important, magnetic flux is important, rather rate in change in magnetic flux is also very, very important. So here minus sign is the from Lenz's law, which is which is to tell us about the direction of the magnetic flux. So in which direction is flux is producing. So when there is a change in the magnetic flux, there and induced electric field also produce this diagram on 30.4 diagram figure is showing the basic concept about the Lenz's law. Whenever you bring close this north magnet towards this coil, single wired coil, uh, so current will be produced in the wire in counterclockwise direction. If you're coming with north pole towards this wire, so this wire when current is passing through produced in the wire, it will also produce the magnetic field. So this, when north pole or the bar magnet is close to the magnetic field, wire, there will be another north pole will be created which will oppose this permanent magnet north pole. So this is basically Lenz's law. So when you move away, so it will remain north pole of the permanent magnet, but but now so this is all about Lenz's law. So explanation of the Lenz's law is given by these diagrams. So please read out these diagrams again carefully. Try to understand the concept of the magnetic field. So there are few terms introduced here. One of them is eddy currents. We will not discuss here right now. So our purpose is to is to complete this Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. And now, very important topic, very important outcome from the Faraday's law, induced electric field. So if there is a current, suppose we place there is a look at the figure number 30.11 A figure. So you are given a magnetic field, changing magnetic field into the page, and you placed a copper ring, red colored copper wire inside this changing magnetic field. Okay, this is the situation number one. What will happen when you will place the magnetic copper wire of radius small r inside this continually changing or increasing magnetic field? Current will be induced into this wire, in this wire. If there is a current in the copper ring, an electric field must be present along the ring because an electric field is needed to do work of moving conduction electrons. It means when there is a current in the loop, although there is no battery is connected with this wire, then Which force is driving these charges present in the wire from one place to another within this loop, within this wire loop? Can you understand my question? I repeat. If there is a current in the wire, it means there is some force which is driving these charges of this wire from one place to another within this wire. You are now, when a wire is connected with the battery, what does battery do? Battery provides the necessary force to move the charges of the wire from one place to another. Similar thing is happening here, but now there is no battery. It means there is some force, there is some electromotive force, which is driving the charges, which is the reason of the movement of the charges within the wire from one place to another place within the wire. So this is the main concept. This is the main solution problem which we are looking for solution. So moreover, the electric field must have been produced by changing magnetic flux. So magnetic flux should not be constant. Rather, it must be increasing or decreasing. It must be changing. So this induced electric field is just as real as an electric field produced by static charge. As you have studied in the earlier chapters of 21, 22, Coulomb's law and Gauss's law, you have seen that static charges also produces the electric field. So this electric field is real, but this time there is no battery, which is provide the force. So either what does electric field do? Electric field apply force Q naught E on particle charge Q. So a changing magnetic field produces an electric field. Up to now, we can conclude that a changing magnetic field produces an electric field because there is no other source of the connected with the wire, which is the reason of the movement of the charges within the wire. So that is why we can say that up to now there is only a magnetic field and changing magnetic field which is producing the electric field within this loop. So there is another question. So what will happen if a magnetic field is producing the electric field? What will happen if there is no copper wire? So what does it mean? It means, will electric field again be there or not? Presence of copper wire is necessary to production of the electric field by changing magnetic field. So answer is that electric field will appear even if the changing magnetic field were in a vacuum. Mean if there is no copper wire, even then there will be electric field. So this was proved by the experiment. So changing magnetic field will always produce electric field even if there is no copper wire, even if you are performing this experiment in vacuum. So this is the basic concept, how electromagnetic forces are travel in vacuum, how radiations from sun can reach to us without any source. So changing magnetic field is keep on producing electric field, and changing electric fields keep on producing magnetic field. So as a result, these keep on traveling in the vacuum. So the field is induced even if there is no copper ring, and the electric field would appear even if there is changing magnetic field. To fix these ideas, no. Instead of the wire, now we consider hypothetical circle of radius r instead of copper wire, and observe, measure the electric field at different points of this hypothetical loop. The magnetic field is changing at this rate, d by dt, and it may be increasing or decreasing. So electric field induced at various points around the circular path must from symmetry be tangent to the circle. So as long as the field is increasing with time, the electric field presented by circular lines will be present, just as in figure C. So I will come to the figure D now. So if there is no magnetic field, just look at this blue line, which is outside the magnetic field. So at this point, there will be no electric field because this circle is not lying inside the changing magnetic field. If the magnetic field is increasing at constant end, the electric field line will be concentric circles. So the conclusion is again, the changing magnetic field produces an electric field. How to reformulate the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction? This is one of the now important point, and keep concentration on this screen. You know, whenever charge is moved in an electric field, how much force required to move the charge from one place to another is determined by the work done by the electric field. And what is the definition of the work done? Force into the force applied on a charged particle to move. When a force on a charged particle causes the movement of the charge from one place to another up to some distance within the electric field. So now electric field force is given by this equation according to Coulomb's law, Q naught E, and how much distance it will cover. It will cover the 2 pi r according to circumference of the circle. And we know the definition of the electromotive force. We put this into this equation. Then we get this equation. Epsilon naught is electromotive force is equal to 2 pi r E. Now again, using the same equation number 30.16, W is equal to F dot ds. Now taking the circular loop of the integration. जी roll number 20
ये समझ नहीं आ रहा
क्या चीज
कि आपने रिफॉर्मेशन ऑफ फ्राडे लॉ पढ़ा रहे हैं, ये इक्वेशन हाउ मच एनर्जी रिक्वायर्ड टू रिमूव वन चार्ज,
जी जी
टॉपिक पढ़ा रहे हैं, तो ये समझ नहीं आ रहा।
अच्छा मैं चले
क्या सर ये वर्क टाइम कभी समझ नहीं आई, वर्क टाइम क्या है?
ओके मैं इसको मैं 12 से रिपीट करता हूँ. ओके आई विल रिपीट दिस टॉपिक. Okay, please unmute yourself. Thank you. Yes. Now we are here to determine the how much work is done in moving a charge within the changing magnetic field from one place to another. Suppose a charge move from this position to again reach to its initial position after covering the total circumference 2 pi r. Okay, so if the charge particle moving from this position and after covering the distance of 2 pi r, how much work is done on this charge particle? So this work done is given by this equation. force into distance. And electric field, sorry, force, electric force is given by this equation, which is the Coulomb's law, from the Coulomb's law, chapter, I think 21 or 22, this equation is derived. So Q naught E. And what will the distance of covered by this charge particle is equal to 2 pi r, equal to circumference of the this circle. So this wire loop. So this is one equation. So Q naught is the magnitude of the force acting on the test charge, and 2 pi r is the distance over which the force acts. So setting these two expressions for W equal to each other and cancelling Q naught. Now, equal this setting, yet they have missed something in the text, I think. So by putting instead of W, in general definition is W is equal to Q naught E. In this situation, in this situation, epsilon naught, sorry, this electromotive force is driving the charge from one place to another. So we will instead E, this capital E, is the general equation, general electric field when there is some battery or there is some electric field. So in the current situation, in this experiment, because there is no battery connected, there is no physical battery connected, there is no physical electric field present, but there is something which is driving the charge from one place to another. So which is equal to the F is equal to Q naught, this symbol. I must write here, I think, how to write here. Okay, I will provide you the detail, one step only missing here within this equation, with these equations. So now, again using this equation, equation number 30.16, W is equal to F dot ds, Q naught. No, this equation becomes Q naught is E dot ds, means electric field into distance. Work done will be equal to this equation. So by putting this equation, we can come to know that induced electric field is equal to the E dot ds, means electric field, induced electric field is equal to the electric field produced by the changing magnetic field into the radius of this circle distance. So up to this point, induced EMF has meant the work per unit charge done in maintaining current due to a changing magnetic flux, or it has meant the work done per unit charge on the charged particle that moves around a closed path in a changing magnetic field. This is the basically same definition of the induced EMF or simple EMF, but now word induced EMF is introduced into this equation. In simple EMF case, work per unit charge is used. Now in this case, induced EMF, now we will use the word induced EMF, and now work done by the changing magnetic flux. And it has meant the work done per unit charge on the charged particle that moves around a closed path in a changing magnetic flux. So because this electric field, this equation, according to this equation, this electric field is produced by the changing magnetic field. Until or unless magnetic field is keep on increasing or decreasing, so this equation will hold. Otherwise, if a magnetic field is constant and not changing in the given situation, so then this equation will no longer exist. So change in magnetic field is the real source of this induced EMF. So we can put into this equation, we will get the Faraday's law of this is the basic equation of the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. It means now this equation is very interesting in the sense that there is some on the right side of the equation, there is a magnetic flux, rate in change in magnetic flux. While on the left side of this equation, there is the electric field and some distance. So this such transformation from electric field to magnetic field and or magnetic field to electric field. And on the one side is there is a left side, there is an integration sign. On the left side, there is a differentiation of magnetic flux. So this is very interesting situation. And now this equation will be used for, this is one of the equation to be used by Maxwell to describe the theory of electromagnetic waves. So anyhow, we will not discuss today the in detail like Maxwell's equation. So this equation simply says that a changing magnetic field induces an electric field, and the changing magnetic field appears on the right side of the equation and the electric field on the left side. So now last paragraph is about the explanation of this figure of 30.11 and 30.11d. Yes. So there are 4 different loops are given. Loop 1 in the center of the magnetic field. Loop 2 has some radius. Loop 3 partially lies inside the magnetic field, and loop 4 is completely outside the magnetic field. So because loop 1 and loop 2 are exactly in the changing area of the magnetic field, so these will have the same magnitude of the electric field. And because loop 3 has partially lies inside the magnetic field, changing magnetic field, so it will have the less magnitude magnitude of electric field as compared to loop 1 and loop 2. And loop 4 is totally out of the line. So though the region which is not inside the magnetic field, this will have no effect, and it will have no induced EMF. So rest of the topics from onward are not part of our syllabus of this chapter, but you have to solve the numericals related to these topics. So from Lenz's law, I will send you the list of the numericals from the related topics. So in next chapter, our next chapter will be chapter number 32, in which we will study the Maxwell equations, magnetism of matter. This is extremely important concept, and before going into the details of this Maxwell's equations, we have to study some Gauss's law for magnetic field. Earlier we have gone through the Gauss's law for magnetic field. Now we will have study the Gauss's law for magnetic field, and we will see what is the basic concept when we use the Gauss's law for magnets. So one of the consequences I will tell you shortly. B, when we take the magnetic field closed path, so it must be 0. So what is the meaning of this equation? Electric field, Gauss's law of electric field is given by this equation, Q enclosed by epsilon naught. But what is meant by this 0? why Gauss's law for magnetic flux inside a closed path is 0. Means when we will take a circular loop of this wire, magnetic flux will be 0, because as many number of lines coming out of this loop will be equal to the number of lines which are entering into the loop. So what is meaning of this equation? What is the consequence of this equation, basically? What is the outcome of this equation? This is most important result. So now another change in the magnetic Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction will be discussed next time. So now time is getting short. I think we'll have to, for your questions further on discussion, have to restart the meeting because last minute is running through the now. If you have any question, please take a couple of minutes, write down the questions. So I will restart the meeting, and Pari, you will have to join again the meeting